Welcome to the Michelle Mission. 2 men, 1 podcast, every black film ever made. My name is Vincent Williams, and I'm joined as always by my partner.
Hey, what's up? This is Len, aka the Bat Tribble.
And as we continue our march towards 300, on this episode, we will spend time with another biographical pick about a musician.
Hey, how about that?
This one, directed by legendary director and photographer Gordon Parks, LEADBELLY, starring Roger Mosely and a cavalcade of actors that we are fond of, including Madge Sinclair,
Yes.
Ernie Hudson, another sighting of the always delightful Art Evans.
And according to the movie, it seems like maybe
It's his
the
his first film.
And what a debut.
Yeah.
And there's also a couple of other actors, one in particular who I don't think has got mentioned on our show before, but watching him made me feel good because he's an actor whose work I always appreciate. But I'll talk about that when we review the film.
All this and more on this episode of the Michelle Mission.
Yes.
But before we get to that,
hey, what's up to each and every one of you missionaries that are watching us as we're streaming via good friends at StreamYard to Facebook as well, into our YouTube page. And now, for the very first time, we are streaming live on Twitch.
all right.
That's right. The Michelle Mission is live on Twitch, ladies and gentlemen. So if you are a Twitch subscriber, check out Michelle Mission and follow and subscribe to our little Twitch channel.
All right.
You know, there's a town I know where all the missionaries go called, it doesn't work. I was going to say Twitch, but it, never mind. It didn't work.
I was going to go along with you.
You were going to ride with me.
I was going to
I'd
go
appreciate
because what
that.
is it? Twist.
Right, which I was
There's a
going to
town
get
I know
to,
that
but I
everyone
forgot it
goes-
was Bedrock.
Called Bedrock. Twitch.
Twitch.
Yeah.
So I
Right.
should have said, oh, there's a town I know where the missionaries go called Misho. Twitch.
There you go.
Eventually,
There you go.
we got there.
Now we have a Flintstones reference.
Yes, we do.
There you go.
Yes, we do. That's right.
And we are off and running.
We're bringing the 60s to Twitch.
Yeah.
Twitch, proof positive that old men are only 2 years behind
There
on
you
the
go.
curve. Yes, we are
There
up on
you
Twitch,
go.
ladies and gentlemen. So check that out. Shout out to each and every one of you out there in the chat who are watching us and listening to the show. Farrell Blackwell wanted you to know, Vince, that he got his Derville Martin shirt and
Okay.
is ready to do this.
All right.
Did you get your shirt yet?
Yeah.
You did?
Oh, yeah.
It fits good.
It's fantastic.
All right. You gotta take a picture so we can send
Got
it
to
to
take a picture.
put it
You're
on the
right.
website.
You're absolutely right.
Come on, Vince. Come on. All right.
You have to remind me when I'm near the shirt.
Okay. So when you're home.
When I'm home, right?
So all those times when I'm texting you or at home.
Right.
make sure that
You should bring it up.
you're right.
There you go.
It's my fault.
It is your fault. It's not my fault. So it must be your fault.
Of course. But yeah. So that's cool. And shout out to everyone else out there in the chats. Robert Monroe Jr.
Hey, Robert.
said that he saw The Tragedy of Macbeth over the weekend. Great film, wonderful acting, and visually stunning.
Yes, indeed.
Which I actually heard in a review. I have not watched that yet.
Okay.
I have not found time to watch The Tragedy of Macbeth yet. However,
there are only so many hours in the day.
that's true. However, Vincent,
Yes.
because your words were so stirring
Okay.
from last week's show,
Yes.
they did nothing to me. But
Okay.
my friend,
Okay.
my good friend, was so moved by your words
Okay.
that she said we must watch these films that Vincent has talked about
Okay.
this weekend.
All right.
Now, we did not get to the tragedy of Macbeth.
Okay. So you skipped over the one that I said you should watch the most.
True.
And what did you watch?
We watched A Clockwork Orange.
Oh.
Which is a film which you said you love.
I do love A Clockwork Orange. I don't know if I would have jumped right into A Clockwork Orange.
Well, I had seen it before.
Okay, she had never seen it.
She had never seen it.
Okay,
so she was actually unaware of it.
You just threw her into A Clockwork Orange.
I told her it's a weird movie.
All right.
But honestly, I hadn't seen it in years.
Hadn't seen it in years.
And I didn't, so I didn't truly remember but so much about it. It's like Malcolm McDowell starred in it, and it had to deal with him and his crew that were going around doing
drogues.
Yeah, the drogues.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Going around in like this futuristic London.
Yeah.
And just being drogue heads.
Yeah, that's a tough movie.
Now, but the reason why I wanted to revisit this film,
okay,
and thankfully she sat down with me to revisit most of it because it put her to sleep.
Okay,
but
put a pin in that.
But the reason why I wanted to revisit this film is because last week in your soliloquy about this film,
yes,
you had mentioned about how this film was controversial.
Yes,
at the time when it came out in 1971.
Yeah.
Because of its violence.
Right.
And then you said words to the effect after saying that when really the film is not that violent.
Compared to films that have come afterwards.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right. Those were your words.
Those are my words.
So I wanted to return to this film to see whether or not that statement held up.
Okay.
You, Vincent, are out of your mind.
Oh, you think you still think it's really...
For those who've not seen Clockwork Orange or have not seen it in quite some time, the movie opens up within the first 10 minutes of the film. The drogues or trogues? Trogues.
No, drogues with a D.
Oh, I thought it was with a T.
Yeah.
All right. So the drogues, led by Malcolm McDowell.
Yes.
Are stomping on an old man in the alley for no other reason than him being there.
Yes, right. They're actually savages.
If that is not enough, the very next scene cuts to a woman being stripped butt naked.
Yes.
Very violently, on a stage, by a bunch of other ruffians, only for those ruffians to then be summarily beaten by the drogues. Which now you don't know which way you want to feel about the drogues, in that, but nevertheless, that is within the first 15 minutes of this movie.
Yes.
And the hits do not stop coming after that.
The hits do stop coming after that. Like there's a really terrible scene where they go into the couple's house.
Yes. And they kick him to Singing in the Rain.
Yes.
And they
But that's when he gets arrested though, right? He gets arrested after that, right?
He gets arrested after, he gets arrested after that.
So then it's the whole stretch when he's in prison.
Well, there is some violence that happens a little bit in between that, but it's not certainly as profound, but it's still some violence.
Then his boys beat him up when he gets out.
Right.
And then, there's...
But then he gets waterboarded.
Yes.
I mean, there's a very... to me, very graphic rape scene.
Yes. Well, that's when they go into the couple's house.
No. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about when he, spoiler for a 90-year-old movie.
Yeah.
When he is 50 years old, actually. When he is forced, his eyes are pried open and he has to view all these violent images. And one of the images that he sees is this woman being raped by several men. Right. I mean, it's
look, okay, you can argue if you want to argue sexual violence is more violent than other types of violence, then I think you have a little wiggle room.
I'm not arguing that
But
it's more violent, but it's still violence.
It is no way as violent as Terminator 2.
Okay, but
or damn near everything that Arnold Schwarzenegger made throughout the 80s.
The difference being in that, just using your whole Terminator 2 reference, is that, and yeah, you can go to almost any 80s movie, where there's a whole ton of gunplay and super steroided up actors, mock beating the hell out of each other, and say that this is definitely more violent. The reason why I would still lean on this film as being more violent is because despite the futuristic setting that it's supposed to be take place in, outside of them really telling you that it's futuristic, there's nothing really there to lean on it being the future, right? This is not 2001. Right. So it still feels very much of its time. And with that, you also have the violence that is being perpetrated. None of it is cartoonish.
Now that's true.
There's nothing cartoony about it. And there's no, like, whether or not it's right or wrong, we've become a little bit desensitized, even back in that day,
right?
Where there's gunplay on camera, they're kind of like desensitized to it a little bit. This is not gunplay,
which is kind of part of the point,
right? This is hands on. These are guys being, violent against one another, violent against elderly people, violence against themselves, violence against women. And I'm not even just talking about the gratuitous nudity in this movie. And I don't care what anybody says. The nudity, which is full frontal nudity in this movie, is gratuitous. It is way super gratuitous. And if you read the backstories of this movies and all that Stanley Kubrick did as far as like in its casting and production of this film, I ain't gonna lie, this made me feel a little bit icky about Stanley Kubrick, who's a director who's a majority of his work I enjoy, but this gave me like, whoa, dude, like I don't understand it. But to say that this is not as violent, I was like, yo, you are crazy, man. You are insane. This movie was just very, very disturbing.
Okay. I'm sorry. It's more, I still think like Fight Club is more violent, but all right.
I mean, but Fight Club is more violent because
and that's really more of a one-to-one. Like, you're absolutely right to compare this to Terminator or a film like that isn't fair. But I do think that there have been depictions of violence and sexual violence since then that are as graphic, if not more graphic than this, which when you think of, like you said, the history of the reception of A Clockwork Orange, it's like, oh my goodness, A Clockwork. And then when you see it, it's like, oh, okay.
Well, but I hear you on that. But one, the times have changed. So unfortunately, that there are things that are going to be more graphic.
Right.
And while I don't think this is certainly true in every sense, I think that especially the sexual violence in this film lands on very gratuitous to me.
Okay.
It's in its placement in the film to some degree, and certainly in its depiction. And and while I think that charge can be levied on a number of films, I think I'm hard pressed to think of a film that many consider a classic of the genre where that is true.
Where that is true. Okay.
So,
all right.
That's all out.
All right. Did you like it though?
I like Malcolm McDowell. I always like him as an actor.
And he's great in it.
And he's great.
Yeah, he's great in it. I mean, he carries it on his shoulders. He carries the film like that. In my mind, Malcolm McDowell in the set design, pretty much that's the whole film.
Yeah, for a lot of it.
You know, I love the set design. I love the
Mhm.
costumes. I love so. But all right.
Yeah, but other than that, I can't really.
I ain't gonna fight you with so much over how violent A Clockwork Orange is.
Now, you didn't say that you teach this film.
Mm-mm.
Okay, all right. I just wanted to make sure I didn't hear that right.
You were gonna report me.
Audit that class.
Okay, class, time for a little bit of the old ultraviolence. Take out your pins and stab the person next to you with it. No.
Robert Monroe Jr. mentions, after watching A Clockwork Orange as a teen, I was never able to hear Singing in the Rain again without thinking of that scene.
Yeah.
And that is actually Stanley Kubrick got in trouble with Gene Kelly.
That's right.
Because of he didn't like the appropriation of his version of Singing in the Rain.
Yeah.
For use in the film the way that it is. So that's a good point there, Robert. Appreciate you. Okay.
Is that the bone?
That was the bone
that had to be picked.
No, I had to pick.
Has the bone been picked?
Well, there's still meat on it, but I'm just gonna let it live. I'm just gonna let it live there. Let it live there, Vincent. Okay. Let's get to listener mail.
It's funny. You're like people, like you know how every now and then we run into people and they'll have something they want to say about an episode from like two or three years ago.
Yeah,
you know,
a while ago.
I've been meaning to talk to you. It's like, oh boy, here we go. What did I say?
They be ready, man. They be ready. We got an email from Deborah Battle.
Oh, hey, Deborah.
Hi, Len, and Vincent. On the last podcast, when you were trying to think of a way to play 6 Degrees of Derville Martin with Jennifer Aniston, I knew it could be done and that it had to be through one of the 2 Jennifer Aniston movies I actually like. There are 2 ways to get there.
Okay.
Derville Martin was in 5 on the Black Hand Side with Clarice Taylor. Clarice Taylor was in Play Misty for Me with Clint Eastwood.
Oh.
Clint Eastwood was in 2 Mules for Sister Sarah. Oh, such a good movie.
That is a good movie.
With Shirley MacLaine.
Okay.
Clint Eastwood was also in A Perfect World with Kevin Costner, and both of Shirley and Kevin were in Rumor Has It with Jennifer Aniston.
Okay.
While Jennifer may be the lead actress in the movie, the real star is the subject of the film. A young woman going home for her sister's wedding finds out her grandmother and mother are possibly the inspiration for the women in the book The Graduate. Oh, wow.
Oh, okay.
Having never seen that movie,
I
never knew that.
I kind of remember it being out, but yeah, like I'm pretty sure I remember doing the calculations. It was like Shirley MacLaine, Jennifer Aniston.
Belinda Silber has a question for us, Vincent.
Hey, Belinda.
It's a casting question. I know you're not really super fond of casting questions, but here's a casting question.
Okay.
We all agree that Denzel Washington can do anything.
It's true.
If you could, what sci-fi or Marvel Cinematic Universe movie would you like to cast him in, and in what role?
I'm going to do a deep cut.
Okay.
I'm going to do a deep cut.
Deep cut.
This is for my Octavia Butler people. She has a novel called Clayzark.
That's a deep cut. I've never even heard of it.
Clayzark, about an astronaut who comes back and has been infected with an alien microorganism. And it's basically a virus that it wants you to spread it to other people, and it causes the children to be almost not aquarium, but like horses.
Like Sorry to Bother Me.
Like Sorry to Bother Me. But the whole book is about how do you define humanity and what does it mean to control yourself. And it's early Octavia Butler, but it's like this amazing book. And
it's an actual book. It's not like
no, this is a novel.
Really?
It's actually Since We're Here. it connects to the Patternist series
Okay.
to a certain extent. Like the first book in the series is actually set in the future of the Patternist, Pattern Master, and the Patternists are fighting the Clayzarks.
Oh, okay.
Who are like these half kind of horse, half people. And Clay's Ark, which was the name of the rocket and the mission, is where the Clayzarks come from in the future.
So why?
And I would cast him as the astronaut, who's the protagonist. It's also one of the few Octavia Butler books that has a male protagonist.
So do you think that that's one, why it hasn't gotten the acclaim that it has, that the others have? And two, why is it like out of print? Like I've never heard.
Oh, everything's in print now. Yeah, everything's in print now. It was one that went out of print at one point, though.
Okay.
Yeah. And it's just early. It's just and look, Kindred has always been the big one,
right?
Frankly, because that's easy to fit into a postmodern slavery. And then have you seen the ads?
No.
For the I think FX ordered it to series.
Oh, really?
So it's actually this beautiful shot of, is it Dana who's the hero, who's the protagonist of Kindred, and she's like coming out of the water.
Okay.
In her like 70s clothes, but it's during slavery. So, Kindred's always the star. Parable of the Sower is just her the greatest thing she ever wrote. And those are always the big two,
right, that
people talk about,
right.
And then I think as time has gone on, people have discovered other ones, but
I've never heard anybody saying they discovered that one, though.
Yeah, it's early.
Okay.
Yeah, Clayzark might be like her second or third novel.
Okay. All right.
But when she said Denzel Washington science fiction, I thought of that immediately.
Dope.
How about you?
Well, I didn't necessarily think of a sci-fi movie for Denzel, but thinking about the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Okay.
And maybe like some Marvel character that he could, bring to life. The shame is, and even though it's easy already, the shame is that you've already got T'Chaka,
right,
done, so,
right.
That would have been perfect.
Yeah.
But especially with Chadwick Boseman and their relationship.
Yeah, that would have been neat. Yeah.
Really neat. But I was trying to think who he could be because of the series Falcon and the Winter Soldier. You've already got Elijah.
Yeah.
So the first the Truth Captain America.
Yeah. That would be a good one.
That would have been a good one for him too, because you got to, as much as you love Denzel, you got to think it's got to be an older person now.
Right. Exactly.
Exactly. You don't want them, trying to do, crossbody flips and all this type of stuff.
They've not cast Robbie Robertson.
Yeah, but I want to see.
You want to see him do stuff.
Because Robbie, come on.
Yeah.
Robbie's just going to be standing by the desk and like, oh, Jonah.
Yeah. Okay.
No. He's playing second banana to Tom Holland. I like Tom Holland, but
yeah, that's true.
So I don't know if I could see him being. That's a good question. In the Marvel Cinematic Universe, I'm drawing a blank. I mean, I guess you could, if you maybe do a flip and make another character, make a whitish character, flip the race, a la Jonathan Majors and as Kang.
You know who he could play? Speaking of deep cuts, he could be Blue Marvel.
See, now Blue Marvel would be worthy of Denzel Washington.
Mm-hmm. Now, no one listening to this knows who Blue Marvel is.
Blue Marvel will be, no, here's why the Blue Marvel will be perfect. The Blue Marvel will be perfect because
this is your fault, Belinda. You tapped into a deep
nerddom,
a deep nerd vein.
The Blue Marvel will be perfect because he would definitely only be in the one movie,
right?
Like, Denzel ain't going like y'all ain't locking me down for 50.
Denzel is not going to be in Thor 5.
Nah.
These things print money
unless we can all film all these today,
right?
Because come on, now the Blue Marvel, for people who don't know, was a fictional superhero created in Marvel. He debuted back in 2010. The character was Adam Brashear, who, if I remember correctly, and you correct me if I'm wrong, the story is he basically was a superhero in the Marvel universe, but back in the time, was it the 50s?
Like the 50s, I think. Yeah.
Like the late 50s, early 60s.
Yeah.
But he was almost like, he wasn't quite Superman level power, but he was
right.
a powerful dude.
Yeah.
But his shtick was that he wore a mask, a full face mask.
Right.
So people, it's like, oh my God, it's the Blue Marvel. Thank you. But once they found out that he was actually a black man,
right,
under the mask, then the worm turned. And then I know I'm not going to spoil.
Yeah, but he basically kind of retired, and over the past few years, he has shown up as sort of this elder statesman,
right?
Black superhero. Who created him? Is that Kevin Grivo? And I might be
Kevin Grivo.
Yeah. You know him?
No, I don't.
I know it's like a degree of separation with us in him.
Yeah.
I thought maybe you knew him. He seems like he would have been in a triple orbit.
I think we have like flirted with trying to get him on the show, and just didn't make it.
Okay,
troubled him.
Yeah,
he would definitely be a person worthy of trying to get on to the Michelle mission.
Yeah. Interesting guy.
Actor, screenwriter, a comic book writer,
and he's the Underworld guy, right? Yep. Like he created Underworld, didn't he? Did he create Underworld? I know he
co-created Underworld.
Yeah. Very interesting. Brother.
Yep.
Not to put too fine of a point on it.
Yeah.
This is a black man. So yeah, interesting guy.
Yeah. So that's a deep cut, but that's a good one, Vince. I like that.
All right.
I like that. We also got a message on Facebook.
Okay.
From Ryan Smallwood.
Hey, Ryan.
Listening to the JoJo Dancer episode, Len doesn't care for Ali. Everyone likes Ali except for Joe. Philly.
I was about to say, don't.
Listen.
Oh my God. Okay. Easy.
It's not that I don't like Muhammad Ali. I like Muhammad Ali.
Okay.
I like Muhammad Ali a great deal.
Easy.
But Muhammad Ali, and I will also rep that in the ring, Muhammad Ali is very likely the greatest boxer.
Okay.
All right, to ever step into the ring for all the skills that he had and the way that he demonstrated.
All right. Joe Frazier.
But
go. All right, come on.
Where this greatest of
everybody get out your tasty cakes and your cheesesteaks. We about to get Philly right now. We about to get Philly right now.
Gets put on him as like he was this incredible great man. His stance in Vietnam is something to be championed.
Absolutely
100%.
Come on, just go ahead, get to it.
But once he got to the other side of that, Ali did he was a major, which to be a superstar you have to be a major narcissist. And he threw all of his narcissism on top of the great Joe Frazier. Now Joe Frazier is also
no doubt
top 10,
no doubt,
best boxers ever to step into the ring.
Legendary and iconic.
Yes. And the man who knocked Ali on his ass.
He did. This is all true.
In his prime. Maybe a hair past his prime.
Okay.
But in his prime,
Mm-hmm.
Joe Frazier knocked him on his ass.
Yes, he did.
Why? Because Ali did him wrong, and Joe Frazier said,
Yeah.
I'll see you in the ring.
All right.
And he saw him in the ring.
Philadelphia freedom. I love you.
Robert Monroe Jr. is putting out his connections to us, and he speaks with Kevin all the time. So we will reach out to you,
Okay.
Kevin Grievo.
Oh, excellent. Please do.
We
Big
Grievous.
fans.
It's Grievous.
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 I apologize. Yeah.
You know, you see the UX at the end.
Yeah.
And Farrah Blackwell says Sugar Ray Robinson, the greatest,
Sugar Ray Robinson. All right. We ain't going to sit here and start talking about boxing because
you're done.
I am done.
That's why we're not.
Like, I didn't want to say, I mean, Joe Frazier, all right and all, but he ain't beat up Superman and figure out Superman's secret identity. But okay.
Oh, I know there was something else I wanted to talk to you about.
Oh, boy.
No. This is right up your alley.
Okay. I thought.
Since we're still kind of like,
thought you were.
we're waiting on the bus on Nerd Corners to get us back to the mission.
I was about to say easy. We got early Octavia Butler novels in the Blue Marble, so we should probably pull up a bit.
I know, but we're waiting for the bus. It's coming up the street. It
all
hasn't
right.
gotten here just yet.
Okay.
Have you had an opportunity to check out the first couple of episodes of Naomi?
I haven't.
Oh, you haven't?
I haven't.
Naomi, which is developed by Ava DuVernay,
Yes.
based on the character and comic book created by Brian Michael Bendis,
Who, for our listeners, would probably be most famous for creating Miles Morales.
Miles Morales.
Yes.
Right.
So
I went immediately to the Marvel stuff. Miles Morales.
yes, that's people
Spider-Man.
listening to us, not you, nerd.
Anyway, you haven't watched Naomi. I've watched the first couple of episodes of Naomi.
What do you think?
It's a CW show.
Okay.
So it's cute.
Okay.
It's cute. It's definitely a show that it's one of those shows that I see what you're doing here, but you're not for me.
I was just about to say, I'm pretty sure my goddaughters are watching it, and they are 14 and 12.
And that's right. It's
and
right in that wheelhouse.
Yeah.
It's right in that wheelhouse. So, you know, I'm happy that it's there. You know, the acting is okay. It's okay. It's a cute show.
Look, man,
It's a cute show.
I'm glad it's there.
I'm glad it's
I'm
there
happy
too.
for it.
It's a nice counterbalance to Stargirl, another show that I think is a cute show, but just not for me.
Right.
And they probably play on like the same field, I would say. So I'm happy for their success.
The Proud Family is coming back.
Proud Family's coming back, Vince.
I don't know if you saw the 10 seconds of Moon Girl.
I did.
And Devil Dinosaur.
I didn't.
That looks like that's going to be fantastic.
Okay, because isn't that going to be on Disney Plus?
Yeah.
Okay, now
Tiana is coming back, so this is like the representation for little black girls is real nice right now.
That's nice. I didn't see the 10 seconds of Moon Girl. The animation style,
real psychedelic. It's real psychedelic.
Like
it's very stylized. Like I like it a lot.
Okay, so there's not no what if.
No.
Okay, because that's what I was worried about.
All right.
Okay, good. All right. Then I'm with it.
All right.
I'm with it. And I do like Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur. I have to. I have only had like the first two trades. I have to, because that's done. That's been done.
I'm sure they'll relaunch it.
But it was a fun book.
But Naomi, is it Naomi or Naomi?
It's Naomi.
I thought it was Naomi. Okay, but we're recommending it.
Oh, most definitely.
Yeah, we're standing by.
Yeah, I would definitely.
And it's certainly on my list.
Well, you should check it out, man.
Well, you know, I gotta watch a movie every weekend.
That's one movie.
I know.
I know you're not leaning on that.
I know.
You know, I gotta
watch a movie
every week. Last thing from the in our Facebook group.
Okay.
I thought this was very interesting. This was posted by Harry Whitley.
Hey, Harry.
From Black Boys Rock with Tanisha Wilson.
Okay.
A little story about Ernest Frederick Morrison.
Ah, and who was that?
The first Black child movie star signed to a long-term contract and most famous for his role in the Our Gang Little Rascals series.
Oh.
In 1919, Morrison became the first African-American actor to be signed to a long-term contract with comedy film producer Hal Roach. Created a series called the Sunshine Sammy series just for Morrison in 1921. Then he recreated his idea in a series of Our Gang and Little Rascal films. Morrison made his debut as Booker T. Bacon in the 1922 debut short of the series called Out One Terrible Day. As the oldest member of the cast, Morrison was paid $10,000 a year, making him the highest paid Black actor in Hollywood at the time. He filmed 28 episodes and remained with the show until 1924 when he was 12 years old.
Wow. Well, that's an interesting factoid.
It is definitely. So you can learn more about Mr. Morrison's life. Just go to our Facebook group and there's a link right there that'll take you to blackpast.org, the story of Ernest Frederick Morrison.
Oh, well, thank you for that, Harry.
Really cool.
All right.
Pretty dope. Like that. Yeah, I like stuff like that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. One last thing.
One last
something
thing.
that I know you've been watching.
Okay.
So give us your 30-second thoughts on the HBO Max original series Peacemaker.
Oh, it's a hoot.
Yeah?
Yeah, it's a hoot. It's like a more profane Guardians of the Galaxy. And much like Guardians of the Galaxy, it's a hoot. It's profane, but it has a heart.
A little bit, yeah.
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 John Cena is great. I just forgot the actress's name. We were just talking
Danielle
about
Brooks.
Danielle Brooks is fantastic.
Yes, she is.
Danielle Brooks is fantastic.
Yes, she is.
And if someone would have told me that John Cena and Danielle Brooks were the comedy / partnership that I needed in 2022, I would have said that's a weird combination, but it works really well.
Yeah.
I'm enjoying it.
I'm enjoying it a lot. A lot of people are talking about it's got like a little bit of a Deadpool vibe about it. But it I like it because it definitely, I like it primarily because it feels in the same, rightfully so, universe of the Suicide Squad movie.
Right.
Which
right.
I enjoyed.
It was fantastic.
Hell out of.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So I'm really liking it. And Danielle Brooks, I liked her when I was introduced to her, like I think most people were.
Sure.
In Orange is the New Black.
Sure.
But every time I've seen her since then, her turn up, she's done phenomenal work. I think she is a hoot, like you said. John Cena, he's been on my radar. Like I dropped wrestling years ago, but ever since he moved into really acting and not like just some WWF faux action movies, which he started, which you gotta pay your dues. I've actually really warmed to him as an actor, as a presence. You know what I mean? He's good. I mean, he was the best thing in Fast 9. I'll say that.
You gonna leave my Fast and Furious movies alone?
Have you even seen Fast 9?
I haven't seen it yet.
Yeah, so be quiet.
But I'm sure it is magnificent cinema, like all of the rest of them.
Yeah, that's why Rock said thanks, but no thanks.
Well,
I'm not coming back.
Rock has more stuff to do. And Hobbs and Shaw, which is part of the Furious universe,
it's on its own.
Was also fantastic.
Hobbs and Shaw is now in an alternate universe. They're not even going to reference.
They're not even going to acknowledge it anymore.
Sure, I think they're going to write that on the line and is look at those slow and happy cars over there. All right, Vincent.
Yes, sir.
Are you ready for the game show that is sweeping the nation?
All over the nation.
All over the nation. This game,
men and women, boys and girls.
They are going crazy.
Mhm.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, Derville Martin was Kevin Bacon back when he was just a slab of meat on his mama's butt.
That's right.
In the 70s, you couldn't throw a stick at a 70s movie without running into Derville Martin, and we have learned that you can get from Derville Martin to almost any actor
Mhm.
in Hollywood history.
Yes.
Small, medium, and large.
With 6 moves
With
or
6
less.
moves. So,
all right.
with that, Vincent.
All right. Woo!
Here
6
we degrees.
Go. 6 degrees or less.
Get from Derville Martin
to
Jack Nicholson.
Okay. How do I want to do this?
It's always, how do I want to do it?
I mean, look, Jack Nicholson has been in a billion things.
Yes. Yeah.
So now I just have to settle into what I'm going to get to Jack Nicholson. How would I get to Jack Nicholson?
Can you tell me how to get
to Jack Nicholson? Okay.
Farrell Blackwell wants to know, can we get intro music for this segment? I might have to edit it into the podcast because StreamYard is very particular about
right. You got to watch all that.
Yeah. So that's the deal there, Farrell. I hear you because I hear theme music all the
You know, the bad thing is you got me all genre-y, so I can't get Batman and Wolf out of my head.
That's not good. Not bad starting places, though.
No, they're not. They're not.
Did you like Wolf?
Oh. Here you go. Get him one move.
Oh.
Derville Martin is in the movie you keep referencing, but you've never seen it. The Final Come Down with Billy D. Williams. Billy D. Williams is in Batman with Jack Nicholson.
Very good. Well.
Had you thought of that?
No.
Yeah.
Probably because I've not
seen Can I actually turn the camera around? For those of you who are looking, like literally, literally, he has a poster. Right? Is Billy D. Williams on the poster? Let's see if Billy D. Williams is on the poster.
He's not on the poster. He's not. He's not there. He's not there. He's not.
Oh, Prince's though.
Yeah.
Yeah. Lynn actually has a poster of Batman, the motion picture, sitting up with Jack Nicholson looking right at me.
Yeah. Well done, Mr. Bond. But as always,
I
come prepared.
You come prepared
with another trap.
Okay, is it going to be an actor that's not on a poster in here that I can look at?
Get to Michael Keaton. No,
right. What about Kim Basinger?
In 6 Degrees or Less.
Okay.
Get from Derville Martin. To Michael Jackson.
Let's have some fun with this one. Derville Martin is in let's just go on a little. Let's go on a walk.
Oh, okay. All right.
Derville Martin is in guess who's coming to dinner with Billy D. Williams?
Mhm.
Billy D. Williams. No, I'm sorry. With Sidney Poitier. Sidney Poitier is in Uptown Saturday Night with Richard Pryor.
Yeah.
Richard Pryor is in. I'm actually I'll even double dip because the step I'm about to say, Richard Pryor is in that too. But Richard Pryor is in Lady Sings the Blues with Billy D. Williams. Billy D. Williams is in Bingo Long and his Traveling All Stars. And yes, I know Richard Pryor is in that too, but we just going to take the extra step with Mabel King. Mabel King is in The Wiz with Michael Jackson
and Richard Pryor.
And Richard Pryor. There you go. So Richard Pryor actually just walked with me. I just took Richard Pryor with me.
I forgot all about The Wiz.
How you forget about the only movie he was in?
It's not the movie I was thinking of.
What movie were you thinking about with Captain EO?
No, it wasn't Captain EO, even though people in the chat was like, oh, please let Captain EO be in the movie. The answer, no. I was thinking of his cameo in Men in Black 2.
Oh, that's an interesting one.
Yeah. Because originally it was going to be Will Smith. But then I was trying to think, okay, then how could you, because I was trying to I wanted to be kind of fair. Like, how do you get to Will Smith? And then I remember that Michael Jackson was this. Oh, Michael Jackson. That's right. Oh, no, it's just a cameo. He probably won't remember he was in there. So
Right. But you forgot about The Wiz. You want to get to him Men in Black too?
No, you already went 4 extra steps.
All right, I'm just trying. I felt bad about the Batman thing.
Well, no,
it's like you hadn't,
Yeah, it's good humor. I mean, hey, but you just proved the point. You got to Jack Nicholson.
Yeah.
From Derville Martin. It's not Fred Williamson to Jack Nicholson.
I know.
It's Derville Martin.
I know.
It's probably harder to get from Fred Williamson. Well, maybe not.
I was about to say.
But still, that's the thing. All right.
It's no fun when it happens. It's so fun.
Well, anyway. Well, there you go.
That's on you, though.
That's on me.
That's on you. All right.
That's on me. I thought Jack Nicholson would be a little harder.
And I don't know how you ain't think about The Wiz.
I forgot all about The Wiz.
And I did use Mabel King. Like, I did try and use.
Yes, you took some extra steps.
Like, I didn't. Right, because I'm saying Lady Sings. Diana Ross is in Lady Sings the Blues.
I know.
It's like everybody in it.
Everybody's in The Wiz.
Right.
Yes, I know.
Yeah.
It probably was a cameo by Jack Nicholson.
Right.
Yeah, I just want to bounce around in the movie. Yeah. Anyway, it's my fault. No.
What else was
Bree 517 says Vince is a gracious winner. Sure, while the camera's on. I don't see him when the camera's. Oh, he's mean.
Oh, I'm flipping stuff over.
He's mean.
Flipping stuff over.
He's putting his manhood in my face.
Why did I just forget who plays the Tin Man?
Nipsey Russell.
What else was Nipsey Russell in besides The Wiz?
The DVD of The Wiz. Like, I don't think his filmography is that big.
That's what I was thinking.
Big TV and comedian.
Well, let's see. I mean, it happened. Look, we did it all fast. I mean, shit, we got time.
Wasn't that fast, but okay.
All right, Nipsey
Russell.
Let's see what else he was in.
I mean, he was on Match Game.
No. I meant, you told me you got to use movies. Remember, that's your thing. Got to use movies.
No, that's the game. Are you looking at his filmography?
It actually doesn't have a filmography. It just says.
See? You don't get a filmography when it's one movie.
Right. It says he was
in The Wiz.
He was in The Wiz.
That's it. I think that.
Yeah.
I think that was it.
That's really interesting that his big claim to fame was being on game shows.
Yeah. I mean, to be fair, he was a comedian.
I mean, I know he was a comedian and everything, but when you think about but when you think about his breakthrough, like a lot of times the people who would be on those celebrity game shows, got there through television and film. Like they may have started on the stage, but then they kind of, they're on television, they were in the film, and then they ended up on the game shows.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
I guess that's not really true. Like Steve and Edie, like those Las Vegas acts, oftentimes would end up on the game shows from Las Vegas,
and that's how you came to know them as far as television,
right?
But you're right. A lot of them did have their start in theater. I'm thinking of primarily the Match Game because it was my favorite. Charles Nelson Riley, I didn't even know he was a theater guy.
Charles Nelson Riley, was he in movies?
No, he was 100% a theater
TV guy, right?
But he was a theater. He was theater, and then he did the game shows. Right, he did that, and the woman that sat next to him, Brett, I can't remember her last name. Big glasses. You know what her claim to fame was?
No, I don't.
She was married to Jack Klugman.
Okay.
And I think she maybe did some acting, but that was it.
Right.
Very little acting.
Okay.
So you never know.
You never know.
You never know.
Well, there you go.
Well, and here we are. Well, that was 6 Degrees of Derville Martin, ladies and gentlemen.
Okay.
Somebody wanted to connect Derville Martin to Kevin Bacon. Well,
you know what? I'd actually thought about that.
We could do it in 2 moves.
You can do it in 2 moves.
Yeah. How many moves did it take you to get to Jack Nicholson? You did it in 1 move, right?
Right.
You can do it in 2 moves.
2 moves.
Jack Nicholson's in Kevin Bacon in A Few Good Men.
Oh, yeah. You know who I was trying to get to him through?
Who?
Lawrence Fishburne is in Quicksilver with Kevin Bacon.
I never seen Quicksilver. I don't even know what it's about. Is it about a bike?
Well, it's about bike messengers.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Kevin Bacon, I think, is Wall Street guy who quits his Wall Street guy gig to become a bike messenger. Yes, it was made in the 80s. Why do you ask? It's this great sequence in the beginning where he's like Wall Streety guy and he's in a cab and there's a bike messenger next to him and he pays the cab driver to race the bike messenger through New York. And of course the bike messenger beats him. And then that sense of freedom speaks to Kevin Bacon and he quits his job and becomes a bike messenger. And Lawrence Fishburne is one of the bike messengers.
So let's get into...
We won't be watching Quicksilver.
No.
On the show mission.
No, we won't. No, we won't. We won't be watching that at all. At all. We're not watching it because I know a certain somebody is like, Vince talked about this film about the bike messengers.
Okay, come on. That's not fair.
It sounds kind of interesting. Can we watch that?
It really
no,
isn't.
We're not watching Quicksilver.
Really it is one of those weird 80s high concept films. Like, how do you come up with that?
I don't know.
All right. Is it time?
God, yes. For us to get into our review of LEADBELLY. Okay.
All right.
It's time for trailer talk. And we're running a little behind schedule, but Aaron Fry,
okay,
he had a trailer talk topic.
Okay.
Pick one. Picard season 2 or Star Trek Strange New Worlds for trailer talk. Have you seen the trailer for
I have.
Is there a trailer for both are out, or is it just
I've not seen an actual trailer for Strange New Worlds. I saw it where they introduced the cast.
Yeah, but there's a trailer for
It's Picard. A trailer for Picard. Right. There are actually two trailers.
Okay.
Because the second one is the really exciting one because it has Guinan in it.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I'm not watching the trailers because I don't want to watch it. So I don't know. Have you been watching Discovery?
I am 2 episodes behind.
I think I'm maybe 2 episodes behind. So I'm enjoying it, though.
Oh, absolutely.
Absolutely enjoying it.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Absolutely loving that show.
Look, Captain Michael Burnham is everything that I've wanted.
I know, right?
like just as a captain.
I know. I mean, I know a couple of people have sat down with Sonequa Martin Green. I would love to sit down with her, and because I'm curious, like, what it's like, because I don't believe that she was a Star Trek fan when she got the job.
Mm-hmm.
So I wonder what I always want to talk to people who then are thrust into that world,
Right.
and especially on such a level. It's not just being cast; like you are the lead.
Well, appropriately enough, I don't know if you saw that clip from The View a few months ago where she came in, and I don't know if she was always a Star Trek fan, but obviously she's
now,
and
because
she
she's
paid
talking about homage to Whoopi Goldberg.
To Whoopi Goldberg, and she was very sort of emotional about it. So, but yeah, it's got to be weird.
I know. And Star Trek: Strange New Worlds, which is basically the adventures of the Enterprise
before Kirk,
right? Captain Pike. I'm excited.
I mean, you're going to watch it.
I'm going to watch it.
They should call it Star Trek: Strange New Worlds. You know you're watching it. Like, don't even pretend you're not going to watch it.
Yeah, Star Trek, stop fronting.
Right,
like basically. So I'm going to watch it, and Anson Mount, I loved him as Pike. So I'm very curious to see him continue in that role. But there's a part of me that wishes that they didn't do it.
Okay.
Because I think Picard is definitely them leaning on their member berries, and season 2 is maybe an opportunity for them to move away from that a little bit, but who knows? Guinan's in there
and Q,
yeah. So they're not moving, but so far.
And the Borg Queen, it looks like you. I'm sorry, am I spoiling things for you? This is all in the trailers, though.
Yes.
Okay.
Which is won't make the show, so feel free to be as mean as you usually are. But there's a part of me that feels like Picard was good, but it didn't steal Discovery's thunder.
No.
Right? And it is a part of me that feels like they're looking for something to steal Discovery's thunder. And maybe that's the cynical part of me, but I don't like that.
I look at it not the other way, but kind of sideways to the way you're looking at it, where this is them throwing a bone to a very specific type of Star Trek fan.
Okay.
I'm not going to say to shut them up, but to shut them up.
But close the door.
Right. Like,
and enjoy that.
Like, you know, it is trailer talk, but frankly, I'd say this on the show. Like, it's a certain type of Star Trek fan that really wants a white guy in charge.
Yes.
And this is, you know, look, look, here you go. Like, Anson Mount is very square jawed and has great white guy hair, and he's in charge.
Yes. Like,
there's a Star Trek person that this is what they want.
Yeah.
So here
you go.
Right.
Yeah. I guess it having that feel to it, it's just rubbing me the wrong way. But,
sure.
But one, that's not Anson Mount's fault.
That's not at all. That's not the cast fault. It's not. And frankly, I think that is indicative of a lot of the push and pull intention that you see in genre fandom in general.
Yep. Very true.
But frankly, we're winning. Like, there's like the dying gasp of that fan, because all of the fans that are coming up want to see Miles Morales in Moon Girl and Captain Marvel and Ms. Marvel and Wonder Woman,
right? And
all of this, you know, representation and types of stories that haven't been there. And frankly, that's where the money is.
That's right.
So, you know,
nobody wants to see Moonfall.
Obviously.
with Halle Berry.
You keep trying to use that Halle Berry as bait to get somebody to go with you to go see this thing.
I can't get nobody. I got a free screen in the Moonfall,
That's right.
but nobody wants to go to the theaters.
That's right.
Which I understand.
The moon is falling, going to hit the earth, and also there are aliens.
And Halle Berry.
And that's your move, huh? That's your move. Halle Berry's in it. You like Halle Berry? Halle Berry's in it.
How many times you gonna watch Swordfish? Come on, come see Moonfall.
Come see Moonfall. It's got Halle Berry in it. Oh boy, let's talk about LEADBELLY.
Oh please, let's do that.
All right.
All right.
Tell me, give me the ghost on.
I will. Let me get this out of the way and go here and here.
LEADBELLY, a 1976 film chronicling the life of folk and blues singer Huddie Ledbetter, better known as LEADBELLY. The film focuses on the troubles of LEADBELLY's youth in the segregated South, including his time in prison and his efforts to use his music to gain release. Featuring a host of actors that we at the show Mission are fans of, including Lynn Hamilton, Albert Hall, Ernie Hudson, Paul Benjamin,
yeah,
Madge Sinclair. Did I mention
too soon?
Did I mention the delightful Art Evans?
You have not.
Introducing the delightful Art Evans and starring Roger Mosely as LEADBELLY. This film was directed by Gordon Parks with a script written by Ernest Kenoy. 1976's LEADBELLY was the choice of Lynn Webb. Lynn, how would you like to begin our conversation around LEADBELLY?
Well, the first thing I want to do is I want to give people an appreciation for who LEADBELLY is. LEADBELLY, as you said, is Huddie, right? Huddie William Ledbetter, who was a noted folk and blues singer of the early part of the 20th century, right? Who and the songs that you may know him most famously for are either Goodnight Irene, which people may or may not know, but the Midnight Special is like really like his big hit, right? And a song that's actually been covered quite a few times,
yes,
as well. So that's why that is a song that a lot of people know of. Midnight Special was sung by William Lee, tons of people, Johnny Rivers, tons of people sang that song. But LEADBELLY was a folk singer whose music did not reach the people the traditional way. This is not a person who was making his bones as a singer and then recording his music and getting it out there and traveling the road and things of that nature. He did eventually, but only after serving multiple stints in prison, and not in prison, on chain gangs, ladies and gentlemen. Chain gangs. Like, he's most, like, if you look at pictures of LEADBELLY, you'll either see him in a suit or you'll see him in the stripes. Right. He is back and forth to prison from a very young age. And he's not in, and he's back and forth to prison, not because he was wrongfully accused of, murder, or, he looked at that white woman and bopped him upside the head and threw him away in prison. No, he was a bit of just a big dumb dude doing dumb dude stuff and just kept getting caught up by the law. And as a black man in the South, when you get caught up by the law, they throw your butt in prison. Now you can say whether or not that's right or wrong, but you knew what fire you was playing with when you was doing the big dumb stuff that you was doing in the South that he was doing. Plus, when he was getting thrown in prison, he was then doubling his problems because he was breaking out of prison. So now he's on the run as a big dumb dude running around with and not getting out of the South. Still saying where the cops know him. Still singing, being a bit. So he's this big dumb guy known for singing in these juke joints all around the South, escaping prison, getting into bum fights, getting thrown back in prison,
kills a couple of guys,
kills a couple of dudes. I just so happened, like, yo, bruh, like, why don't you just lay on this knife real quick, goop? Like, quote unquote, accidentally kills a black guy.
Yeah.
Now you can argue he kills a white guy. You can argue maybe self-defense in that one because he was, according to the movie, he's getting beat down by three guys, and one guy he grabs a knife from him, he stabs him. But nevertheless, and this was, it looks like, the day that he got out of prison.
Yeah,
he gets thrown back into prison because he killed a guy. Just this big dumb dude to getting into all these problems. So it's a very interesting story of what's going on in this man's life. Why is this man the way that he is? Why does he get into the problems and the situations that he finds himself falling into? He leaves home at an early age. He messes around and winds up at this house of ill repute, shall we say, led by one Madge Sinclair, where he becomes basically her dude. And she recognizes that underneath Roger Mosely's rather taut abs, there is the heart of a musician. So I can maybe make some money off of him. So she gives him his first opportunity to sing at some juke joints, because he is a man who left his home that he shared with his mother and father, his father played by Paul Benjamin. He left there wanting to be a blues singer. He was a young boy.
Yes.
But he knew already that he wanted to sing the blues. I don't know what blues he was going to be singing about, but he already knew that at that young age, he wanted to sing the blues.
Okay.
And then he goes and he gets to Madge Sinclair's house. He's with her. He gets into a fight with some guys. He gets thrown in prison. He escapes from prison. He winds up running into Blind Lemon Jefferson, played by the
delightful Art Evans.
The delightful Art Evans. And those two are a buddy comedy for about 15 minutes in the movie.
Yes.
Until he gets into a fight at a party and gets thrown back into prison. and then away we go with him bouncing back and forth to prison. Meanwhile, there's apparently some young woman who's just, wishing on a star that he will come back to her, way back in where he from whence he came in the South. And all this back and forth, you think, oh, okay, this is what's feeding the blues. This is what's feeding this drive that he has to sing the blues. You think that, The movie doesn't tell you that. The movie doesn't show you that. The movie just says, I want to be a blues singer. And then every time he keeps getting into scrapes, he's like, I just want to go and sing the blues. You never see him reconciling at all with what he is, the life that he's living.
Mm-hmm.
You never see him really even command the screen. Roger Mosely is a physical presence. He is not a small man. He's a very stout, well-developed, proportioned man. But he leaves a little to be desired as far as in the realm of like captivating the screen, right? And that's one of the big detriments to this film, because in almost every scene that he is in, he is just blown away by whomever is on the screen with him. You can't take your eyes off of Madge Sinclair when she's on the screen with him. In the beginning, and even then, even more touchingly in the end, when you return to her years after, when she's fallen on the hardest of times. And that is like, you still can't take your eyes off of her, because it's such a touching scene, the way that she's playing it out, how her life took a turn for the worse. Art Evans comes in as Blind Lemon Jefferson. He comes into the movie, he lifts the spirits of the movie, and then he's gone, and you're like, come back, Blind Lemon. Come back, Blind Lemon. Because obviously you can't see that you're the best thing in this movie, dog. You have made us even care a little bit about LEADBELLY. Because all we want to know is, how did Blind Lemon, this blind man who is certainly a more notable and more popular blues singer of this time, you want to know his story. How did he come to be? That I want to go with Blind Lemon.
Sure.
The LEADBELLY gets thrown in prison with Albert Hall, the actor that I wanted to mention.
Yes.
An actor who shows up all the time. And it's never not a joy to see Albert Hall in a film. He is like, he's been in, first of all, he was in Malcolm X.
I was about to say, if you know him, you probably know him from Malcolm X.
Brother Baines in Malcolm
Brother
X.
Baines from Malcolm X.
You may also know him. He was on the Ally McBeal, as well as The Practice as well. In this film, he's Dick Licker. That's his name. So don't get mad at me. Don't at me. But he, in the friendship that he develops with LEADBELLY in prison, it's also interesting. It's also just a great turn of someone who is trying to reconcile with his place in life, but also looking for, whatever silver lining that he can find, and is also willing to offer up an olive branch to LEADBELLY's character, even though it keeps getting it thrown back in his face.
Right.
Paul Benjamin, another character actor, shows up all over the place in the 70s, 80s, and 90s. Paul Benjamin doing solid work in this film as LEADBELLY's father. He is another presence on the screen you can't take your eyes off of in the beginning and in the end, but there still is never really any true exploration of that relationship between him and his father. You're left to think that it's contentious in the beginning, but it's only really on the screen for like about a couple of minutes before LEADBELLY is out of his father's house. And then his father doesn't return to the end after his mother, LEADBELLY's mother has died. He's an older man now, and now he's just looking to see what bare minimum he can do for his son in prison. And ultimately it lands on, he can't get him out. The only thing he can do is at least buy him a guitar so that he can play his music. that he loves so much. The reason why he left his house that apparently his father wasn't really feeling. You don't really know. There's not a whole lot of dialogue about that. LEADBELLY famously plays a 12-string guitar. You are shown earlier in the film where he's introduced to the 12-string guitar by some another guitarist back in his days with Madge Sinclair, Miss Eula, her character's name. And he basically steals the idea of playing a 12-string guitar off of this guy. Matter of fact, takes the guy's guitar. He buys it off of him.
I'm about to say he buys it.
He buys it off of him, to be fair.
Mm-hmm.
But there's no real scene where you're left to there's no real scene that illustrates why the 12-string guitar is more, you know, prominent and is so attractive over the guitar that LEADBELLY was playing at the time, which was just a simple guitar. There's still real exploration of that, and all of that, including the very TV movie look of this film, because this movie looks like it was almost made for television. Like, outside of a couple of swear words and a couple of bare breasts that show up every once in a while, I could have sworn this was the ABC movie of the week back in 1976. The other clue that is not is the director is Gordon Parks.
Oh yeah.
And Gordon Parks is not a name that, you know, is not a name not to be trifled with. You know, he is definitely an accomplished director. We know that. We've covered many of his works here on the show, including, of course, you know, his big film Shaft.
Right.
But he is also noted first and foremost as a photographer.
Yes.
For being able to paint pretty pictures.
Yes.
And there are some scenes in this film that play almost like still images.
Yes.
They're usually longer cuts.
Yes.
They're usually, you know, cuts of a vista.
Absolutely.
There are scenes where LEADBELLY is riding his horse with his lady on the back, and they're drenched in the glow of the sunlight. Very evocative imagery there. And there are a few other scenes like that in this film, but they are very few and very far between them. The rest of this film looks very, very by the numbers. And I don't know. I couldn't find any proof of this. I would not be surprised if it was almost by a second unit, because I find it hard to believe that Gordon Parks would film the rest of this movie in such a pedestrian way. Because it is really just very there. Like I said, there's some things that look cinematic, but the rest of this film just looks very flat, almost like I said, like a made for TV movie. And I don't know whether or not that is budget. You might say that that's budget constraints, but it still comes down to the director knowing where to put the camera.
Right.
You know, how he wants to, you know, compose this shot, this scene. And I found that very failing in this movie. And the other crime of this movie, I just told you about LEADBELLY's story. This is a man who went back and forth to prison. There is a life to be explored.
Oh yeah.
In this movie, there is a lessons to be pulled from the story of Huddy Ledbetter, aka LEADBELLY. But none of them are on display in this movie because this movie is boring. It
Interesting.
is 2 hours
and 6 minutes.
And 6 minutes of boring. Very, very. again, outside of the 15 minutes that Art Evans shows up and the collective 10 minutes of Albert Hall and some of Madge Sinclair's scenes, everything else in this film I found very boring, except there is one scene. There's a love scene that I actually think is very well done, very well shot. And this woman who played by Retha Green, I believe,
Mm-hmm.
who was waiting for LEADBELLY to return, is allowed to have her own agency.
Mm-hmm.
And I do appreciate that. I do
Mm-hmm.
appreciate that about this film. But everything else I found about this film boring, and I thought it was very lazy filmmaking. There is no way you're going to tell me that this man goes back and forth to prison and nobody ever takes his pinky ring. He wears a pinky ring throughout this movie, even when he's in prison. There's no way they are not taking his pinky ring. All right.
You focused on the pinky ring.
I was trying to find something to focus on. And that's where I was like, does this brother have on a pinky ring? Never mind. I didn't know that they had do-rags back in the 1920s and 30s.
Oh, we didn't invent nothing new.
Well, I didn't know. I was
Sure.
like, am I watching The Wire? Like, what's happening? All of a sudden, these do-rags is like, I was like, okay, I guess that was real. That was real. But yeah, what else I got down? Yeah, there's a couple of good lines in this film. Albert Hall, when talking to LEADBELLY when he's in the hot box,
Mm-hmm.
you know, he's talked about because LEADBELLY gets mad at him because he's like, I heard you when you told him where I was running. He was like, man, I figured you had already had a jump on him, and I was trying to save myself a whooping.
Mm-hmm.
And then he drops these bars. When they wants to kill you, just living is winning.
Yeah.
So, and I was like,
that was quite a line.
That's a line, bro. I ain't even mad at you. Yeah, but outside of that, this was just not my cup of tea.
I think this film is definitely more interesting for its place in Gordon Parks' filmography than as a film itself. This is a film that comes after Shaft and Shaft's big score, which are the films that in the 70s Gordon Parks is most known for. But frankly, this is more in the spirit of his earlier film, The Learning Tree. And there's just historically, Gordon Parks and Paramount had beef about how it was advertised. And Gordon Parks famously went into the Detroit Free Press and talked about, like, the very first, like, if you look at the poster for this film, it's LEADBELLY and he doesn't have a shirt on and there's a prostitute around his leg and he's holding a guitar and Gordon Parks was like, what are y'all doing? Like, that's not what this movie is.
Right.
And although I'm never one to defend a movie company, I almost feel like they didn't know what to do with this.
Yeah.
Because this is a film that doesn't really follow the pattern of biographies. Like you said, you'd never get a sense of LEADBELLY's interiority.
Nope.
Like, this is a man who it seems like he's an inch deep. You know, what you see is what you get. He likes women.
Surface.
He likes to party. He likes to play the guitar. And I think there is a way to portray that character if that's what you're interested in. Because I get the sense, and you say these scenes are few and far between. And, you know, maybe it's just subjective. Maybe the effect of one carried me through the parts that weren't as evocative and effective, because I think you're absolutely right. This is a film where there are moments where you absolutely know that Gordon Parks is a photographer.
Mm-hmm.
And like you said, it is just, they're almost stills.
Yep.
And my read was that Gordon Parks was more interested in this evocation of place than he was an actual biography,
An actual
of
story
of LEADBELLY.
Mm-hmm.
And LEADBELLY was really just his way to have these almost set pieces. You know, it begins and kind of sets the mode that the film is going to be in, where it's this, you know, this wonderful scene of a party.
Oh yeah.
And LEADBELLY is playing the guitar, and
young Ernie Hudson,
a very young Ernie Hudson is there, and you see this depiction of Black life.
Yeah.
In the South. I have to say, you say that you said that it reminded you of a TV movie. I disagree with you, because this was not a set. Like, this very much was on location. I think a TV movie, oftentimes you get the sense that it's on a back lot.
No, but I'm talking about more the cinematography itself.
Okay, because it felt like it was filmed throughout Texas.
Yeah, it was on location. I agree with that.
Yeah, but there are shots in the prisons, both in the barracks and as they're breaking up rocks. There are shots. There's this amazing shot where apparently in his life, LEADBELLY got pardoned because he sang this song to the governor of Texas. And there's this wonderful shot of the governor in one of these houses right outside of the prison. And you see all of the white guests at this party, and they're all dressed in white. And it's in contrast to all these Black prisoners
on the other side
of a gate in their uniforms. And this is a moment that you could print in frame.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like you, I liked everybody's performance in this around Roger Mosely. Like, I think what Roger Mosely really brings to this role is his physicality.
Yes.
Because, as you said, he is an imposing physical sped. Like, if you only know him as TC from Magnum PI.
I couldn't remember his name. I knew he was on Magnum PI. I couldn't remember his name.
This is not Magnum's sort of non-threatening Black sidekick.
Exactly. Right.
And that carries it to a certain extent. But as you said, this is a 2 hour and 6 minute
There's no
film.
reason for this movie to be 2 hours and 6.
Well, except that it's Paramount and it's 1976. And this is the man who made 2 Shaft movies. And we don't really know what we're doing and how to do any of this. And basically we're going to let you do what you want.
Right. Right.
But you're absolutely right. Like this is very much a film that Gordon Parks could make after he made 2 Shaft movies. And before Jaws and Star Wars changed the game.
Right.
So we don't really know what to do. But you tease me about the 70s, but this is part of the reason I love the fact that this got made. Like, I love the fact that somebody gave Gordon Parks the resources to make a 2 hour movie about a blues singer that people kind of know about.
No, I'm with that.
But ultimately, like you, I don't know how much the film justifies itself as a film.
Yeah. I'm all for, like I said, the story of LEADBELLY is ripe for exploration in a film. And yes, Gordon Parks, probably one of a handful of names that if you heard in the 70s, he's doing the LEADBELLY story. Okay, all right, cool.
Right. Sign off on that.
You know what I mean? But I just think the finished product is disappointing. overall. I think it's really a letdown. And I wouldn't be surprised if he's like you. Well, you didn't say it, so I don't want to put words in your mouth. If Gordon Parks was like me, he's doing the movie, doing what he got to do. These films are shot out of order. You know that. Art Evans comes in on day 3 for the blind Lemon Jefferson role. Gordon Parks is doing that because if you notice, there's the scenes with blind Lemon, because there's like a little bit of like montage. They definitely have, like I said, like a little bit of a buddy cop type of thing going. And there's scenes of them like driving, along the South. Those are actually, you go back if you dare. Go back and watch this movie and watch how those scenes are staged and shot versus some of the other scenes in this film. It looks first unit. It looks like Gordon Parks' eye is on the ball in a lot of those scenes. Outside of the scene when they first meet, like at this, like on the train.
On the train.
And even then, because that one is kind of, I think, maybe because of the cramped conditions of the train or whatever, I think it could have been staged a little bit better.
Okay.
But outside of that scene, which maybe is on a set, we don't know if that train,
right,
it's inside,
right, not on a train,
right? Yeah. It very likely is on a set. Everything else with them is a lot of it is on location.
Yes,
you look at how those are shot. That's Gordon Parks. I'm willing to bet that's Gordon Parks all the way on them. That's probably like day 4, day 5 of filming. And Gordon Parks realizes, oh man, we got the wrong guy in the lead, man. We need to be making a Blind Lemon movie. Oh well, they signed off on Leadbelly.
Right,
finish this. Because he doesn't, there is no care shown in digging even a little past his bare chest,
right,
into the heart, the soul, what is really the fuel for Leadbelly in this film. And I think that is a shame to the man and to his legacy, because let's face it, there's probably not going to be another Leadbelly.
No. This is the one you get right here. This is the one you get.
And I think it's, unless they do a move, unless there is, a mini series that is just about the blues,
right?
And then you just see Leadbelly kind of maneuvering his way through that,
right? You almost want a treatment of Leadbelly like you had of Howlin' Wolf. And Muddy Waters.
Yep.
In Chess Records.
Yep. Cadillac Records.
Cadillac Records. I'm sorry. Yeah.
Exactly.
Lil Walter.
Yep. Exactly. And I think that, and ultimately that is what really bummed me out about the movie.
Right. Yeah. I think the other thing that goes into it, and there's this wonderful interview that Gordon Parks gave Barbara Kevelez, I think her name is, and she was talking to him about the marketing of Leadbelly, where I feel like the type of characterization that we're talking about, Gordon Parks, I got the sense he was almost resisting that because he really wasn't trying to make a blaxploitation movie.
Okay, and that's fair. That's fair. And okay. And that's fair. And the life of Leadbelly, because it is so rife with back and forth to the prison.
Right. Like it's very easy to turn this into because he kills 2 guys. Yeah, and he's always in a fight. Yeah, and it's always But
that's where that's one when you lean on your writer to write a different story.
Right.
And that's where 2, you have someone like Gordon Parks, who, while he did Shaft's big score, did the learning tree.
He did do the learning tree.
So it's not like he doesn't have it in him.
Well, the learning tree is also his story.
Okay, but still. So I mean, if it's his story, but you could
As in, it's for those of you who don't know, it's semi-autobiographical,
right.
Yeah, the learning tree. Yeah,
but you could it certainly is still of that time.
Yeah, oh yeah.
And you could bring the lessons in its production and its look
Yeah.
to this film. And you could also bring a little bit more of the intelligence of its script to this. You know, maybe you don't shoot the first draft.
Right.
No.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying.
All right.
No.
So would you recommend LEADBELLY?
No. And it's a shame, but I would not. I would not recommend this film.
I don't think I would either. Because the pros, you can get it better from the learning tree.
Yeah.
Like if you have 2 hours to watch a Gordon Parks film and you want to see him at a different speed than Shaft, I think the learning tree is a much better use of that time.
Yeah, and you can see a lot of these character actors that are in this film.
Yeah.
In many other things.
Yeah.
Just as good, if not better.
Just as good. Yeah.
I know one thing. It did make me, mismatch Sinclair. Because we lost very.
Isn't she fantastic?
Way too soon.
Isn't she fantastic?
Yeah.
And I feel like I've not seen a lot of young Madge Sinclair.
No, me neither.
Like I liked young, sexy Madge Sinclair.
All up on her,
right.
And her bustle.
Got a little stuff on.
Yeah, man. I like that.
Yeah, but yeah, I agree.
All right. But hey, ladies and gentlemen, check out LEADBELLY if you like. You be the judge.
Yeah.
Check out the film.
Yes.
All right. Before we tell you what we're going to be watching next week here on the Michaud Mission, I invite you to like and follow us on all the social medias, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to have to update this banner. I just realized it. You can follow us on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube at Michaud Mission. Also on Twitch. Shout out to our Twitch followers out there.
Twitch.
I'm going to make that. Check us out. Follow us, subscribe, tell a friend about the Michaud Mission. Email us all of your thoughts and concerns at michaudmission@gmail.com. You can also go to our website, Michaud Mission, 2 Men, 1 Podcast, every black film ever made, michaudmission.com, where you can hit swag and check out all the cool designs that we have available to you by way of our good friends at TeePublic, including our 6 Degrees of Derville Martin collection.
Yes.
That you can check out and get while supplies last.
Yes.
The Michaud Mission is also a proud member of The Podglomerate, thepodglomerate.com. They make podcasts work. All right. Next week, ladies and gentlemen, it is Vincent's turn here on the Michaud Mission to select our film. Do you remember what film we're watching?
I was about to say, we made our list, and then I immediately forgot what I picked.
Well, I'll tell you what you picked, Vincent. You went to 1995.
1995?
And you went to another favorite here of the mission, one Larenz Tate.
Oh, what did I pick? I hope I picked what popped in my head, but I don't want to say it in case I didn't.
Larenz Tate, who stars in a film that was co-written, produced, and directed by the Hughes brothers.
Yes, I was hoping that's what I picked.
Dead Presidents.
You mentioned Dead Presidents a couple of weeks ago, and I was like, oh, we should do Dead Presidents. But apparently that's what I thought last summer when I put together my list.
That's right. Dead Presidents, ladies and gentlemen, next week.
Very nice.
Here on the Michaud Mission. It's been a while since I've seen it.
I'm realizing I haven't seen it in a while, and I hope I liked it as much as I thought it did, because I forgot Chris Tucker was in it.
Yeah, and it's Chris Tucker's best role.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, Ambush Wright is in it.
Ambush Wright. I think our dude. I don't want to misrepresent, but I think our man is in this film. Yep. Bokeem Woodbine.
Bokeem Woodbine.
That's right. Yes. And Clifton Powell.
I remember Clifton.
Always got room for Clifton Powell.
I remember Clifton Powell was in it.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
I remember Clifton
him
Powell was in it.
Oh, and shout out real quick, another person that's in this film, Jennifer Lewis, is in Dead Presidents. Who, I don't know if people have seen the video of Jennifer Lewis, 65 and still alive and kicking.
Yeah.
She is doing not one, not two, not three, multiple kicks above her head.
Jennifer Lewis has never been a game at all.
Beast with it. Love me some Jennifer Lewis.
Who doesn't?
I don't know. We are fools.
Yes.
All right.
Dead Presidents.
Dead Presidents. That's right. That's right. All right. Next week here on the Michaud Mission, a film that also has a wonderful soundtrack.
Yes, it does. But we'll talk about all that.
We will. Until then, ladies and gentlemen, he's Vincent. I'm Len. And in parting, we say,
we'll see you when it's time to meet again.